right. Good morning, everybody. Monday, August 12th, 2024. We are just rolling along with the summer here. It is hard to believe we're already up to episode number 6 of The Tasty Twist with Sammy Blanchett, also known as Sammy B. That's me. Nice to see everybody here once again at Okemo Valley TV in beautiful Ludlow, Vermont. A shout out to our producers, Peter, Patrick, and Rebecca, once again for doing a fabulous job. And the Tasty Twist portion of this intro, a shout out to the Hatchery in downtown Ludlow for providing yummy cinnamon rolls and breakfast wraps. Before I make the introductions, of course, we rub the Buddha's belly right here. David, you chime in. You folks may also know we have a banana dog now in honor of my black lab, Denver. His nickname is Bananas. So I found that on my fireplace, and I'm like, let's bring it in. I think that'd be rather cool. So I want to give a special shout out to everybody, wherever you may be tuning in, that has watched so far the first 3 episodes of the Tasty Twist podcast with Allie T, Zach Yukaitis, and Jim Yeager. Thank you, and shout out to you guys. Also, shout out to Max Casano and Peyton Callanan. Your episodes will be coming out soon. Thank you guys for subscribing to Okemo Valley TV's YouTube channel, their app, which you can download on the smartphones or your smart TV, or check out everything on okemovalley.tv. You can also watch still locally on live TV on Sunday nights via Comcast Channel 1076 and VTEL Channel 166. Our episode today is a gentleman from Windsor, Vermont. He's originally from New Hampshire. He's in 2 primary bands here full-time here in Vermont, Bigfoot County, and most recently in the last couple of years, our good friend, Mr. Rick Redington and the Love, or Rick Redington and the Tough Love, one of the names right there. And they've had a very busy schedule, and he's got a great family and personal life as well, too, also as a snowboard coach at Stratton Mountain Resort. Mr. David Lewis, good morning, sir.
How's it going?
I'm wonderful.
One little correction. It's Windham.
Windham. What did I say?
Windsor.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. gotta angle that correctly. Yeah. We could start just a little biography. When did you move to VT?
I moved to Vermont in 2017 from New Hampshire. I grew up in New Hampshire my whole life. I was born in Tucson, Arizona. When I was a baby.
Wow.
Moved to New Hampshire when I was a baby. Wow. And
so you got to experience that Death Valley heat right away.
No, I was like months old when I moved to New Hampshire. I didn't
but it might have still been there before you moved.
Well,
you just didn't know. Yeah.
I did visit. You know, it is like very cactusy and it's very dry. It is desert-like.
Cactusy. I like that.
I wasn't a huge fan. I'm not a big fan of that kind of hot weather, but
yeah,
it was nice to visit.
Do you still go back to visit from time to time there?
No, I only did that one time when I was out visiting my mom. When I was a kid, I visited her. She lives in California. I visited her every summer.
What
when
part?
I was a kid. San Bernardino, right outside of L.A.
Did Frank Zappa create a song about that, San Bernardino or San Bernardino? Remember that song?
Yeah.
It's off of the One Size Fits Most album.
Yeah, this is Rick's
with Pajama People.
Yeah. This is Rick's department.
Yeah,
he's the Zappa.
Shout out to Rick Redington
and
the Love again, by the way. So
Tough Love.
Tough Love. Right, that's what I thought. Tough
well,
Love.
since the new lineup, that's the name change has been from Rick Redington and the Love to now Rick Redington and Tough Love.
You've gotten quite the experience too of being a selfie photographer also as well too, right?
Yeah.
Since
It's been a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did you start playing drums? Did you jump into bands right away? I know you mentioned in the warm-up that you never took any formal lessons.
No, I never have taken any formal drum lessons. I started off playing music as a guitarist. When I was maybe 13 or so, I picked up a guitar.
Acoustic or electric? You started
acoustic.
Nice.
And then my mom got me an electric guitar when I was younger.
Did you take lessons for guitar or?
Nope, never took lessons for that. I self-taught myself I know all the chords and everything, but I mean, if you told me to hit
the ones that make the money.
Yeah.
The open
you told
chords.
me to hit whatever chord that is, I wouldn't know it. But if you played it, I could mimic you.
It's when I had my episode with Jim Yeager a couple of weeks ago, I was telling him like the jazz progressions, like the 2-5-1 minor 6. He goes, what the heck is that? Can you show me that? I'm like, I gladly will. Being from music school, but when I was in music school, looking at the books and the sight reading, minor 7, 6, flat 9, sharp 13. Anybody that just regular country day artists would just look at that, just be like, what? Okay, I'm confused. What?
Most drummers are looking at you like that too.
Can I just play wagon wheel? Did you see my meme that I shared? It wasn't mine that I originally created. My song requests menu.
Yes.
Of like, yeah.
That's the truth, though.
Was there any that you? I thought Taylor Swift should have been added on there. No disrespect.
Yeah.
Incredible songwriter all these years and an incredible business lady. But
being in the bands I am right now, I don't really hear too many requests shouted out at us. I mean,
but what about the one? Hey, can you play that song that I just went to the bathroom during? That one's classic.
No, I mean, there's got to be this difference between solo players and band. Plus, I'm a drummer, so I'm not forefront on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, if there's chatter going on, I'm in the back.
Here's the thing: being a deadhead that you are, if you're playing Eyes of the World, drums in space is bound to be in there.
Yeah.
So by the time the person gets back from the bathroom, the drums are still going on. Wait, what's that song?
It's the space and the drums. That's what it is.
That's awesome. So did you like playing guitar?
I still do enjoy it. Actually,
Yeah.
I pick it up and play every now and again just for fun. We go camping trips. I'll bring the acoustic along. I mean, I really enjoy playing any type of music on any type of instrument I can get my hands on. But yeah, like playing guitar is a lot of fun. I've actually recently picked it back up and started trying to write songs. Because I haven't done that since I was like a teenager, and
We should chat. About that.
Yeah,
sometime.
I kind of got something I just started working on at Rick and Heather's new place next door to the Wild Fern in Stockbridge. They got this house they call the Pain Academy.
Now I forget, is that across the street?
Right next door.
Right next door.
Directly
okay.
next door.
Yeah, because I've been there as a special guest myself also
Yeah.
too. The pizza's phenomenal.
So
by
good.
the way, what they make.
So
If
good.
you guys ever have a chance, get up to the Wild Fern in Stockbridge off of Route 100 North. 10, 15 minutes north of Killington.
Yeah, they've got music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday nights is usually Hezzy and the Flashbacks with Heather.
I love that name.
Yeah, as the
Hezzy
leader
with
on that.
two Z's?
Yep.
Yeah.
ZZIE. And then
That's just popped
Saturday
in my mind.
night.
That was just me like thinking at that.
Saturday night is Tough Love lineup. And then Sunday nights is Rick and his loopy local stuff that he does. With
I love that, the
guitar.
loop,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's got his loop style. I'll be joining him at some point.
Yeah.
One of these Sundays. But
Random technology question in regards to all the shows that you guys do there, and more so probably for Rick. But did the Facebook Live thing for you guys and for him primarily start during COVID like a lot of other artists?
yeah, they did a huge thing for COVID, which they're not the only ones to do, was the live drive-in stuff, where they would have people come and they had a stage built on the Fern side of the highway, and then across the street where they are, there's actually the parking lot for the Fern, which is part of their property as well. They would have everybody park over there, and then they would have the show across the street, and that's pretty much what kicked off the live streaming of Facebook, I believe, for them as well. But it wasn't like they tried to keep that live atmosphere by having, you at least in the same area of them playing music, not just, broadcasting live through Facebook. But there's a lot of times that they would do that dually, like they would have the live show and then broadcast on Facebook as well.
Were you able to do some live streaming yourself during COVID with Bigfoot County or just at home?
So Bigfoot County started so both of these bands I'm in now started just over a year ago for me.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot County wasn't even a thing until just last year. Prior to that, I was in another band, and yeah, when COVID hit, put a stop to my band at the moment, and then I would just go live on Facebook like all you guys did, and just play guitar and just like keep company with people, just to keep myself engaged with people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I would have a certain amount of songs like Pink Floyd's "Fearless" and other stuff that I would
Great
play.
album, by the way.
Yeah, there's other stuff that I
Great.
could play and sing, and so I would do that for Facebook Live stuff for just myself. But yeah, it was. I mean, I wouldn't really set up and be like, "Hey, let's have a drum jam for Facebook Live." It's not very engaging, in between songs of playing the guitar, I can talk to people and whatnot. It's just more personable, as you know.
I marketed one time during COVID an 8-hour jam session from 2:00 in the afternoon to 10:00, and I remember Facebook and my phone said, "Dude, the heck with you. 4 hours, we have to stop this video." And then I'm like, I had no idea there was a cap on how long the videos could be. Yeah, I had no idea.
Wow.
Just like you can only be on a personal Facebook account friends with 5,000 people.
I knew that.
I've hit that multiple times.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, it's no offense to the people that delete their Facebook accounts but don't tell you. If I scroll through the friends and I see that there's no profile picture and there's no friends, it's like, I guess next man up, because
Yeah,
now there's a
exactly.
million other people that come through tourist area that want to be connected musically and with
Yeah, Facebook's an interesting spot for that sort of thing for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. So when you lived in New Hampshire, did you play in a lot of bands?
So I played in a few bands, like not too long after high school. I was in a band for a short stint called Duty Free, and that was like probably the first time I'd actually really played drums on stage.
What kind of music did you guys do?
Rock, funk type stuff. And we played at the House of Blues Lounge in Boston. So that was probably my first really big gig. And gosh, I don't even remember what year that was.
How big is that venue? Because I've heard a lot of people play there before and just say they had a great time.
It's a decent sized like bar, really. I mean, like actually going into that, I thought it was going to be a lot bigger, but it was not. It was like just a little lounge, like it said. And it was a chill spot for sure. Really good time.
Did you get free tickets to Red Sox games?
No, we didn't get any free perks or nothing other than just, get fed. But
that's a more than enough satisfaction.
Yeah, especially at that age, man, when I was like maybe 20, 21 or something. I don't know. It was between 19 and 21 that I did that. And yeah, that whole experience was just, it was amazing in itself. I didn't need any extra perks at that age. When you got like your first big gigs, you're just stoked to be there.
Did it transform into other shows, like other opportunities?
Unfortunately, that whole it kind of just withered away with indifferences with other band members, but that sort of thing happens. And then after that, I just kind of
that's a podcast episode in and of itself.
After that, I kind of just hung back and played the drums on my own, and started having a family at that moment.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And you mentioned that you moved to Vermont in 2017. I mentioned in the introduction that you're a snowboard coach. Have you worked at any other ski resort besides Stratton, or this was your first?
I worked at Loon Mountain.
That's a great place.
For years.
That's a great mountain.
Yeah, I worked there first for
that New Hampshire vibe right there.
Yeah. So I lived in the White Mountain area for a good chunk of time too, and that was my home mountain for a while. It was Loon Mountain, and I worked lift ops there, and I was pretty much the main North Peak operator. That was a lot of fun.
Was that when they already put in their high-speed 4-pack chair?
This was just before they had actually expanded to the South Peak. So
okay.
I was there before that expansion, and then they had the expansion. And I was really not doing anything musically. I was just doing a lot of snowboard bum stuff.
That's okay.
Being being a lifty.
Did you bartend or work in the restaurant industry too?
Nope. I just worked at the mountain and played music when I could. But I really mainly worked at the mountain and did glass blowing back then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was a glassblower for 14 years. That's kind of whittled out, and I'm looking to get back into that, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Now, have you done, now I was about to say other jobs. Have you done carpentry work? I think you might have mentioned, or you do some other
handyman stuff. Yeah, I do handyman stuff. I could do some carpentry. Again, handyman stuff, a little bit of everything. Really.
Yeah. As you mentioned beforehand, the challenges it can be having multiple bands and also balancing family life. It's
gnarly.
Yeah,
it is. It's definitely gnarly, but
kid.
I try to bring my family to as much of these events, shows, anything I can, because everywhere I go for my music is family friendly. Unless it's with Bigfoot County, there's a few venues we play that's strictly 21 and over. It's a rarity, though. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we do it's all family oriented. Like if you're a Deadhead and you've gone to any of those kind of shows, you know that a lot of it's family oriented. You're going to be around a lot of people that have kids and such. So it's what I strive for. I want to play for everybody. I want people to have because if I have my family, I want people to be able to bring their families to see this stuff too.
Absolutely. And you're making an impact on people's family by doing that, family vibes. Plus, playing jam band style music is always fun too. And it's one of the things I've always loved about following jam bands and incorporating jam band style music into my shows, acoustic or electric, is it's a different version every night.
Oh, yeah.
And I would imagine you have your set lineup with Bigfoot County and Rick Redington and the Tough Love, but the solos and the segues always come out different every single night, which is refreshing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the same. I mean, especially during the drum jams. I can't tell you that I've mimicked a drum solo ever. Everything I do, the only thing you'll find that's very similar in each time of my drum solos is they're very tribal, earthy kind of rhythm to them versus any kind of jazz feel. It's a definite tribal feeling to it that I bring, like Mickey Hart or even some string cheese type drum beats in there. There was a lot of Latin influence in the off polyrhythm stuff. triplets thrown in there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to bring that earthy vibe out, and it rocks all of our core when you get that kind of a vibe, I feel.
Absolutely. And we could talk for hours on all of our favorite bands and stuff, but just give a rundown to the music lovers out there, just some of your favorite drummers. And we mentioned a few of them, but some of your biggest influences and who are your current heroes? Like right
obviously, now? Mickey Hart and Billy are huge up there. I'm like I was just saying, I'm a huge fan of Danny Carey of Tool. Yeah, I love all this jam band stuff, and I am in bands that play that type of music, but my genre is vast. I like all sorts of music. We're talking about Carter, too. He's another great drummer.
Have you
John
seen
Fishman.
Dave? Have you seen Dave and Fish?
I've never
live?
seen Dave Matthews live, ever. Not that I wouldn't or don't want to. I just never got around to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fish I've seen plenty of times.
Did you see them at, we were talking about no repeats for shows. Obviously, they're big on that, as much as they can. Did you ever go see them when they did the Baker's Dozen down in MSG?
No, but that would have been wild to see. 13 days of them playing all different stuff.
250-something different songs, no repeats
impressive.
at all. That really is, yeah.
So, I mean, there's very few bands that could do that.
Yeah.
Very few. The Dead was one of them, and Fish is probably the second that could do that.
But it's amazing, too, because you think of the thought process with any hardworking musician that's in a band, or if they're just doing 5 to 6 solo shows a week like myself or Nick Breedis, Zach Yukaitis, Jim Yeager, like all of our heroes around here, our local working men around here, and Liz Reedy and Brianna Elaine, Allie T, like just so many like heavy hitters around here, just to name a few. But the thought process that goes into it, there's so many different ways that you can attack a show. You can do an exact same set list every single night, which is not something I strive to do. You can mix it up every single show. The next show, you can try to strive for not doing anything that you did on that last show. And sometimes if you do 2 or 3 shows a day, that becomes increasingly challenging to keep up on that. You can do themes where you dress up, but also cover someone else's music.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, the thought process that goes into what do I exactly want to do for this night. For a band like Fish and for the Grateful Dead, they have meetings probably before the shows being like, okay, what do we want to actually do tonight compared to last night?
Yeah, I know that like there are some bands that do that, and surprisingly enough, like I believe that Fish and the Dead were some of the only ones that would just do them on the fly. Which is something
like a couple hours before they took the stage.
Something I'm so comfortable and familiar doing with Rick is that he'll just not give us a set list and we'll just go up there. He'll even throw songs that we've never even heard, like in a live show, just to give us that kind of challenge. And thankfully, I don't think we've let him down yet.
Yeah. Only time will tell. We shall see. When jamming with a band, one of the biggest takeaways I've noticed lately, especially with playing as much as I have, and I'm curious your take on this. What do you find to be one of the most important things when playing in a live setting, whether it's, I mean, obviously like in front of people at the moment, but also Facebook Live? If you're having fun, then they're going to have fun also too, right?
That's
correct?
Totally. I love, like when I came and played with you for that little bit at Off the Rails.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
that sort of stuff is so fun for me. Like I'm really trying to get out there and play with as many people as I can right now. I'm also very busy, so it's hard to schedule that sort of stuff in, but I love playing with other musicians so much that like I was telling this to others, I can't remember who I was talking to this about. It's like music is a language, you only get to speak with other musicians. So being able to play with other musicians, they have a different like dialect, you know what I mean? To say, or a different, just a different way of saying things. So it's the same when you sit down with music or different musicians. You're going to get different feeds and stuff. So what I hear from you, I'll play on the drums differently than what I'll hear for Rick. You know what I mean? So there's like different chops that you guys will do that I'll hear that I'll incorporate into my rhythms and stuff. So it's
that being versatile and adaptability factor on the fly, which is great. That we talked about that in the warm up also as well too, about how it's good to play with other people and listen to other styles of music because it challenges yourself to really listen to what they're doing and that's adjust on the fly.
That's why I don't stick to just one genre of music either. Like having multiple genres of music in my head so that I can sit down with multiple different musicians is fun for me. Yeah. Like I can sit down with guys who play hard, heavy metal and play something pretty well with that, or funk or reggae is one I'm really I feel like I've brought a really nice reggae flair to Rick's reggae type music too. So that's been a lot of fun. I like having that versatility of genres of things. So I'll hear certain licks on a guitar. I'll be able to add those kind of things in my drumming. It's the having the versatility there is very helpful for me.
Yeah. In your experience playing with a band, how critical is it always to be locked in tight with the bass player, and then the rest of the dynamics of the band just flow? It's got to be so critical important to have like you guys on the same page.
Yeah,
you know, whether it's Heather or whether it's King Arthur Jr. or
King
somebody.
Arthur. Kent is our bass player for Bigfoot County.
Yeah.
I feel like locking in with your bass player is key for any drummer.
It sounds so good as a frontman guitar player when those two are rock solid.
It's the foundation. You know, you can build whatever you're on top. As long as that foundation is strong, you can build whatever on top. So if me and Arthur are a strong foundation for you to just noodle all over, that's the building you're building right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love that. I absolutely love getting with people, throwing down the bass line. Like if me and Heather start off a bass, like we've done this plenty with practice, we'll just start doing a jam and then Rick will come in. We just made up a song like a couple weeks ago just because of that, so that sort of stuff can be fun, and it can also bring new music to the band just by the drummer and the bass player throwing down a cool beat.
Have you ever thought about the old school recordings of prog bands, rock bands, jam bands? Old school recordings back in like the 70s, 80s, or even 60s, how the track all of a sudden fades, and it fades out to existence because it's getting ready to go to the next song.
Yep.
How much longer they're actually jamming on a raging solo.
Yeah, I've always wondered.
Whether it's a killer guitar solo or a saxophone solo, and it is just fading out, and you just hear them wailing. I'm like, you cut out that part? Come on.
It definitely gets me scratching my head. I was like, was there a major flailing moment after that they had to cut it out? Or
did someone fart? Did someone sneeze? Like did a cup of coffee spill on the wires? Like, come on.
It's definitely a head scratcher for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about your stretch of shows lately with Rick Redington.
Oh, yeah. So summertime gets busy with Rick and Tough Love for sure. So this past week, it's getting all jumbled in my head. I'll give you the last 3 days.
But you made it here this morning, which is the most important thing.
The last
you were like, we scheduled this. We're here.
So Friday night, we did the Dead Fern Festival at Wild Fern, which is all Grateful Dead music that we're playing to get ready for the August West Festival that happens Saturday up in Jay Peak, Vermont. So that happens then. We go up to Jay Peak Friday night. And then we are the headliner for the August West Festival, the 20th August West Festival this past week. If you can get on archive.com, we are on there, August West Festival, Rick Redington and Tough Love. Really amazing show. I listened to it on the way back home and was super floored with how well that sounded. And then, on the way back home was down here to Ludlow so that we could play at the gazebo last night. And that actually ended with a rainstorm. But it was great.
Did you guys get majority of the set in, though?
Yeah, we had like...
Because it's fun playing down in that gazebo.
Yeah,
right down over
we ended
here.
15 minutes early. We ended with Caught in the Rain, which is a perfect song to end on because we were
not Cold Rain and Snow?
No, we were definitely caught in the rain. It was one of Rick's originals,
Yeah.
It was a really fun time. I love being this busy playing music. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for my family, too. They came up with me to Jay Peak and enjoyed all of the fun things up there. We went to the water park and... it's really great that I'm able to do this stuff with my family, not just me. So when I can take the family,
it's nice to have those perks, like in addition to. And Bigfoot County, they don't travel as far as Rick.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
we're still honestly in our infancy as a band. Like Bigfoot County just started last year. I see
you do some shows in Manchester, or primarily.
Yeah, we actually have a Bigfoot County gig coming up on the 30th over in Higgs in Manchester. Mm-hmm. So that starts at 8:30. That is one of those 21 and over venues that we play. Mm-hmm. So that's the one gig we have on the docket for Bigfoot County so far right now. Hoping to get more with them. But I'm staying busy with Rick for sure. And we just did a live album too with Rick.
I was about to say, at the Underground, right?
We've got a live album coming out soon. Rick Redington and Tough Love is Jay Osborne, Heather Lynn, Rick Redington, and myself, Dave Lewis, on the drums.
All fantastic people, by the way.
And, it's we've got our first actual band recording that we did up at the Underground in Randolph. That it was a dual show we did with Luminous Crush. So we opened up for Luminous Crush, and we were able to do 2 takes on our album. So we'll be able to pick which stuff's the best out of it, and really looking forward to that coming out, so everyone can get ears on how we're sounding.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
we might have talked about this one time. Being the big deadhead that you are, how did you come up? Because there's so many female names out there, but the name Althea for your daughter, that's really cool.
Yeah,
one of my favorite Dead songs, by the way, too.
Yeah, so. It's just something Sarah and I both agreed on, and Sarah was very adamant about her having a middle name of Rose, so it was going to be Althea Rose Lewis. And
that's an awesome name.
She was born on a winter storm, so the idea of her middle name being Winter Rose came in my head. One word, so the R would follow into Rose from winter. So that's what her middle name is now. So it's a great combination name from both of us for sure.
Has she gotten into skiing and snowboarding yet?
Oh gosh, yeah. Althea's a little ripper. She follows Daddy on the tree trails, and I'm very happy to have a family that all is able to get on the mountain and enjoy the wintertime with me.
Besides Stratton, do you have a favorite mountain in Vermont personally you like going to?
Man, I guess I'm just really fond of Stratton. I don't know. There are other mountains like Magic. Actually, Magic is. I really don't want to talk too much about it.
I've still never skied. I know. Yeah,
like
you don't want to give the secrets away. Yeah,
gem.
It's like in Ludlow, Buttermilk Falls. You don't want to give that secret.
Well, that's blown up since COVID.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah, like all the popular, cool little
100%.
spots we knew are all blown up. Like Hamilton Falls over in Windham is now just packed with people all the time.
I don't think I've ever been. Oh, you know one of my favorite places down in your neck of the woods? Erica and I love going this lapping at the Stratton Snowmaking Pond.
That's a good spot.
Kendall Farm Road it is. Yeah, great spot for swimming also too. So yeah. And the dogs are always so happy there also too. Yeah.
It's a good spot.
During COVID, man, that place was packed. Completely packed all the time. Yeah.
It's wild how much stuff has changed just since then, as far as like just the little getaways we used to go to.
Yeah. But that whole area is beautiful down there because they have stuff that always goes on. What is it? The Jamaica State Farm and then the Bonneville State Farm Fair. There's always a lot of cool events down there.
Yeah, the Bonneville State Fair is happening, I think, this weekend.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought it was Labor Day.
Dead Man's Waltz is going to be playing that, which is really... You ever heard of them?
No.
They're really good, man. They're like... They do... Grateful Dead, and I don't know. I think they might do Steely Dan or something. I don't know. They do a mix of like classic stuff, and it's really good. I have yet to really check them out myself.
Steely Dan's a great band. I love the jazz rock.
They're so good. So good. One of my so for morning music for me, it's either reggae or Steely Dan.
Oh, nice. You have a favorite, besides Bob Marley, you have a favorite reggae artist? It's tough, right?
It is. I like Naira. Yeah, he's a obscure. I'm like one of those reggae heads. It's like I'm gonna name some guys you probably have no idea who they are.
Well, I can name a few, and I say that because when I lived in Connecticut, I played with a reggae band as the lead guitar player, Fatty Roots, for 9 years.
Right on.
Back in my college days, back at Western Connecticut and Danbury, and I just hopped in my junior year of college with this band called Fatty Roots, and we became this pretty popular touring reggae jam band in the southwest end of Connecticut. We got some really interesting private party gigs over the years, but the guys I'm thinking of, besides Bob and Ziggy and Steven, obviously, Gregory Isaacs, Black Yahiru. I actually spent many years listening to instrumental dub reggae tracks from Sly and Robbie, one of the most iconic rhythm, bass, and drum reggae sections in history.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And they collaborated with so many different artists over the years, not just doing like their own solo stuff.
Totally.
And really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, reggae's a lot of fun. I actually saw Ziggy open up for Jack Johnson 2 years ago.
No kidding.
This was really cool. Yeah. Do you and your family take any time to go see shows as opposed to just being part of the show?
Yeah, we do that as often as possible. We are a huge musical family, which is, it's funny you say that because my daughter, Althea, she's been really really like getting more upset lately that she hasn't been able to see. We filled her cup lately since then with the music, but she was.
Is she starting to go like, can I see anybody besides
yeah,
Dad?
About a month ago. It was about a month ago that she was like, I really want to get out to see a show. I'm like, but sweetie,
but not you.
You see all my stuff. She's like, I know, I'm getting so used to seeing that. I want to see something else. So like, yeah, we definitely have filled that cup since then. She's gone to see Jatoba a few times. Yeah, we get out there and see as many people as we possibly can. I just this past June, I was part of the operations crew for Northland's festival.
Yeah, dude, how was that?
That was super fun.
That was a big deal, right? You were there for a couple of weeks, weren't you?
Yeah, 2 weeks straight, building it and tearing it down. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like being at a festival site where there's nothing there, and we build it up to this beautiful spot where everyone can hang out and party and have a good time.
Now you mentioned building. Are you talking about wooden foundations or like the sky raffling?
I'm talking about like
lights,
snow fencing. Yeah, like the shades that we put up there. Yeah, it's a lot that we do behind the scenes, putting up tents.
Something I've never been good at, by the way, putting up tents.
It's a lot of strategic, making sure people don't get into certain spots and making sure fencing's where it's supposed to be.
You mean like when you're working at a ski resort, putting signs up and hoping people read?
Yeah, that's the thing. Only it's a little worse when you're at a festival because people are under the influence of certain things.
Wishful thinking, go read the signs.
Totally.
Oh, man. But
what I was getting at with that is that like that was another thing we do to like experience music and really like take it all in is to be behind the scenes of how these things are built as well.
Because it's a lot of work behind it,
obviously.
Yeah.
Sarah and I have been in the music industry, festival stuff for a long time. If not vending, then like vendor coordinating or some other sorts of things being involved with festivals.
This is one of the big topics I've brought up to every one of our guests so far, and who are our friends also too. Just whether it's a solo show, a band show, or a gigantic festival, it's not just the 3 hours or the 2 hours performing in front of people like the songs. Man, the equipment, the travel, the event coordination and planning. No doubt it's a full-time job, I'm sure, as you envision also too, like how much effort is put into it. And bodies also too, a lot of bodies involved with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of forethought and everything that goes into that. I mean, like for any of these festivals that are going on, they're already in plans. Like,
all in hopes that people enjoy the show and enjoy the product.
Yeah, for 3 days.
Out there for 3 days. Yeah.
It's all of this years of like, it's literally a year of planning and stuff for any festivals to be going off without a hook is like a good year of just planning and getting things figured out. It's crazy.
That's the entertainment industry in a nutshell. That could also be for sports, like the pro sports, planning all these and I mean, just all these big festivals. I mean, just getting back to Fish, all these big festivals like putting together. It is a lot. But that's great that you've had the exposure to be able to see the behind the scenes and also be at the front of it as well too.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when I think about it. Yeah, I do behind the scenes stuff, help build the shows and festivals from the ground up, but I'm also happy to hop on stage and be the drummer.
Segue to back into the ski industry really quickly. So when working at Loon as a lift operator and also now as a snowboard coach at Stratton, isn't it cool to work in different departments of a ski resort also too, to see that side of like how much is involved?
Definitely. I really loved working at Loon and being a lift operator, but I don't know why I haven't been an instructor earlier. Like,
so did you just bump chairs with the slow fixed grip chairs, or did you also do the detached?
I was the operator for the detachable, so I was the guy running it, taking all of the. I would start it up in the morning and shut it down at night, and take all the calculations from the machinery I needed to. So yeah, I was the lift. I wasn't the lift attendant. I was the lift operator. So that was the difference. But yeah, I did that for years, and then. Yeah, once I started the snowboard coaching last year, I did that because I was doing the GIST program for the past 3 years and helping kids snowboard. So rewarding. Like at the beginning of the year, they don't even know how to put the feet in the snowboard. You know, the end of the season, I've got them going from the top of the mountain down. That was rewarding. And then, I don't know, last year, I'm like, I could really use a little extra income in the wintertime. So I was looking at stuff at the mountain, and I'm like, why don't I try the instructing? I really enjoyed teaching the kids, and yeah, I got into it last year, and I absolutely love teaching people how to snowboard. I mean, if I've got an adult or a child that are gung ho to learn how to snowboard, and they're there for those reasons, I can get them like turning and making linking turns by the end of our 3 hour session for sure. More times than not, I was doing that. It was Really great, really fun.
Not to mention, it's good for your resume also too. Get a good review online. It's a good resume booster.
I definitely
too.
like this aspect of being on the mountain versus lift operator. At least this way, I'm on the mountain all the time.
Yeah,
like when I'm working, I'm riding my board.
Absolutely. I will say from my experience lately at Okemo, working in guest services and as a ticket scanner, I have a radio on me, and I hear what's going on with the mountain ops. So it's nice to have a mix of, not only are you scanning people's passes and greeting them, but you're also listening to what may or may not be going down bad weather-wise with the lifts and everything. And we're in a front line of defense, like dealing with the public, and we also are talking to the mountain ops people, sometimes the lift mechanics, the operators, throughout the course of the day. It's great to have that industry knowledge to, in case people would ask, hey, why is this not running, or why is this not happening, or whatever. I'm like, well, in addition to the weather, there's also this. So
like
maybe
icing days that it's icing, and people are like, why
when they got to climb the towers and knock the ice off.
You have to knock. There's so many sensors on those lifts that, like, when I was a lift operator, that's why I know so much about it, is because there's so many sensors on those ropes that if those tweak at all, especially if there's ice on the rope,
it stops the lift.
Yeah, it'll totally hit that sensor. Then you got a lot longer to wait for that sensor to get fixed.
And you probably also got to be careful too, because when you're knocking the ice off, you don't want to knock the sensor completely out of place, because then the lift might get shut down for the day. And then,
those guys in lift maintenance, man, they do a lot of hard work. So if you know somebody who does lift maintenance at any of your local mountains,
thank your
them.
lift maintenance guys. Thank your people that work outside for the lifts and the snowmaking too, because snowmaking is wild hours.
I would never do that job.
Yeah,
I mean, I watch the cats that do that, and I'm just like, thank gosh for you guys.
Beep, beep, beep,
No,
as it keeps backing up. Living on a ski mountain on Okemo myself, I hear those at 11 o'clock at night coming home from a gig. Beep, beep, beep. Back to music, because this is the twist part of the recordings. Thoughts on the live music scene in Vermont? I've been pretty impressed by the talent up here in the 6 years that I've lived up here from Connecticut.
I think it's alive and well, man. I really, I've enjoyed playing with as many people as I have around here. Before I was even like playing out live, I like I said, I had my small band that I was working with, and then I got asked to play out with some other people, and that kind of just like snowballed into where I am now. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that this past year's been so full of music for me. I got asked to join Rick's band after his 420 party last year. We played like all sorts of Grateful Dead stuff, and Bo Thayer came up and we played with him as well. Then after that gig, he sat me down and asked me to be part of the band, which was huge for me. I'm still pinching myself today. Like I'm still, there are mornings where I wake up and I'm like, holy crap, I'm really Rick's drummer, you know?
And I would imagine the more that you guys continue to play at the Fern and get other festivals, that new album possibilities will come out in the future as well.
I mean, we're just getting tighter. And like I said, like when Heather and I will just do, like, we just made a new song recently just by jamming, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, there's been a lot of work put in for this band and for it to sound tight, and we're getting there.
You like the two drummer aspect with Jay?
He's a lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun.
And honestly, at the beginning, when
he'll be here, by the way, the end of the month. By the way, everybody. Yeah. Jay Osborne will be here on an episode.
Thanks to Jay for the
for the equipment, by the way, too. Yeah,
he lent me the cajon because
cojones.
With the whole busy tour thing we've been doing, I forgot to pack my hand drum before we left, and all I have is my whole kit, so that would have taken up the whole stage.
So he goes to Jay on Message in the Morning, help, I need help.
I need percussion from the percussion guy.
And you're like, oh, I also have to respond to Sammy's breakfast inquiry. Yeah, once again, thank you, Hatchery. Appreciate you guys.
It's delicious.
Good stuff, yeah. Life on the road. So when you're not with your family, taking them to like gigs, like in the car, like on the ride from gig to gig, what's your go-to? Albums, podcasts, silence? Because sometimes those, I don't want to say the drives back and forth could be lonely, but they are long and taxing sometimes mentally. To kill the time.
To go to Jay and back, that was a drive.
Just 2 hours from the Fern alone, and let alone from where Wyndham is. That's an hour 15.
About 3 hours. Yeah, my go-to for things to listen to really depends on what gig I'm going to play. If I'm going to play for Bigfoot County, it's typically Grateful Dead or Jaeger Garcia band I'm listening to. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to play for Rick, it's typically the song list I have for him that I play over again. And I try to stick to those things to keep me in line with what I'm going to be playing. But I've been finding myself veering more from that. Like I've been getting more comfortable with what I'm playing with Rick now that I'm like trying to get other influences in there too to keep my drum licks fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been like dipping into string cheese a lot more lately. I had just seen them in Portland recently.
How about Humphreys? You ever do Humphreys?
Humphreys, man. I've been a geek for them since like '99. I found them online.
They're so good electric, but when they do stripped down acoustic versions with the drums,
yeah, I saw them
money.
back when
Money.
You know Jeff Austin?
Yeah.
He's the mandolin player.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to.
Yeah.
They did a tour with Yonder Mountain, and Jeff Austin and gosh, I'm blanking on his name. But he would come out with the lead guitarist from Humphreys Begin. They would do an acoustic set in the beginning. It was so good. I caught them at Hampton Beach one year doing that. But yeah, Humphreys is one of my top dog bands because of the genres they play. Like,
yeah,
they can play all the genres, like heavy metal. I've heard them play like some crazy old Metallica stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like they just can pull it out. They've
Yeah.
got some of their own songs that are just like heavy metal type.
I love their version of Let's Dance by David Bowie. That's a killer version.
Have
yeah.
you heard their album Zonky? Is a crazy mashup of songs. It's just like they
Does it
fit
include
so
like
well.
Cool Summer? They do a great version of Cool
I'm gonna
Summer.
send it to you after
Yeah,
this.
please.
You got
Along
it.
with your archive that I have to check out. By the way,
it's crazy. But yeah, Humphreys is a huge influence in like Chris Myers, the drummer for them, is just a beast. He's just a absolute monster.
Are they one or two drummers? I forget.
They have a percussionist as well.
They have a percussionist.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yonder Mountain String Band. Tell the folks, how was that at Killington this past winter?
Oh yeah, we opened for Yonder for the Killington
NVD.
Winterfest. Yeah.
NVD. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. Let's just mention that. Yeah, February, the Killington had their Subaru Winterfest, and we Rick Redington and Tough Love.
That was on the Saturday?
Yeah, we opened for them, and it was
I played
really
the next
cold.
day in the Samba place over near the Mexican
Was it
jerk stand
February?
place.
I don't know. The first week of February. I can't
4th or
remember.
5th, yeah. It was maybe
cold.
not Super Bowl weekend. It might have been the weekend before Super Bowl
Yeah,
weekend.
it's definitely
but
the
yeah.
coldest I've ever been on a stage, and it was interesting how they had it. They had these heat jets that would shoot in, and then but they were playing acoustic guitars, so it was really throwing everything out of tune.
Did you find they were helpful at all? Or no? At all?
We had to turn all the heat stuff away from because it was anytime the heat was hitting their instruments, it would dramatically change the tuning.
Yeah.
It was wild.
No, but I'm saying besides that, which is a big deal, obviously, but did it warm up the core of your body at all?
No. I had one next to me. It didn't really, I don't know.
I remember I still had 6 layers on when I was playing at that stage. So Nick played on that stage on the Saturday before you guys opened on the other side.
You guys do it.
Surprisingly, that small stage which they have on the...
You have fingerless gloves?
No. There's a bass player, I forget, that used to have fingerless gloves when he would play out in like the cold temperatures.
Crazy.
What the heck was this guy's name? It was a killer band. The band's name was The Ringers. So let me test your knowledge. So who is on drum? All right. I at least know the guitar players. Jazz legend Wayne Krantz, fusion monster, Jimmy Herring from Widespread Panic, and then this incredible guitar player from California. I forget his band's claim to fame. Michael Landau, just monstrous Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray sound, but like all fusion chops also as well too. Just What the hell was the point of that story? Yeah, fingerless gloves. That's right. Yeah. So no, I have not ever done fingerless gloves, but somehow the 2 heaters in that stage just warmed the core of my body, but it wasn't facing the guitar. But it still warmed me up like crazy. Now, side note, I had 6 layers on still because it was that cold. I had an Under Armour thermal on it.
I definitely had my snowboard gear, like my thermal pants, my snowboard pants, and my snowboard boots on. I think you even had really thin gloves on for that.
You should have just told Rick, hey, Rick, Heather, if you don't mind, like, sound check's over. I'm going to go do a lap on Superstar really quickly.
Did
and
you
then
have
I'm
a smaller
good.
stage?
Yeah.
Oh, that might have been the difference too.
We had, like, and it was high up. And it was high up.
Yeah,
too.
we had your typical festival huge stage, and they're trying to fill that with heat, and I'm like, what? This isn't working at all.
There's not enough coffee or tea to help me out with this.
All.
Yeah. Were there had to have been a lot of people that day, I'm sure.
It was a blast, man. It was
and you had Dwayne Carlton also on as well too.
We had Dwayne up there.
Yeah,
him and Rick playing together.
The
was
Heavenly
so
Brothers?
special. Yeah.
Or the Heavily Brothers? Heavily.
Yeah, because they were heavy guys back then.
Yeah.
But, seeing those guys play together was awesome because they can duel back and forth with each other, and it's just beautiful. Like, I loved playing with them while they were doing their lead parts together. It was so awesome.
Have you ever been to a Dwayne Carlton show solo, acoustic?
I think I've caught him a few times, yes, but not like it would just happen to be like, oh, look, Dwayne's here.
Yeah,
like one of those things.
He's incredible, man.
Amazing.
Such a legend.
He's one of those guys you can ask him to play a song, he'll know it.
Yeah.
He's like one of those who's got all the songs in his head.
I still idolize him, but shout out to Dwayne Carlton, by the way, the great Dwayne. Try to get you on an episode. That would be
great.
Legendary. Yeah. But I admire him because the longest show I've ever done, this was years ago at Killarney's Irish Pub right down the road over here in Ludlow, was a 7.5 hour show. I played my 3 hours, and I just at the time I was like, hey, a lot of people still here, and they're really, really feeling it. Because one encore song is not just going to be one encore song.
No.
I looked at the bartender and I said, dude, I'll literally play as long as you want. It's 9 o'clock. People are still here. Let's rock. Actually, it had to have been earlier. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was earlier. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock because to be 7.5 hours and I was still home at 12:30, 1 o'clock. Yeah. Anyways, I ended up, I'm pretty sure playing another 3.5, 4 hours after I had called last song before.
Wow.
The point of the story is Dwayne Carlton is known for never taking a bathroom break or any break during his shows. That includes going up to as far as 5 hours.
Crazy.
From what people who have been lifers here at Killington in the area that love Dwayne Carlton have said, he just never takes a break. Now, I have tried that a handful of times over the years with a lot of success, but I've also partially lost a little bit of interest. I feel people need a little bit of a break to hear something else for a little while.
Totally.
Go out, mingle with the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, kudos to him for pulling that off. No bathroom breaks at the very least. 4 or 5 hours
he's
straight.
He's still a beast with that stuff for sure. It's amazing.
When you're in a band of 3 or 4 people, someone usually has to go to the bathroom or their arm or hand are cramping up.
Someone's always me. I'm not even going to lie. I'm always the guy that has to go to the bathroom first. I just drink so much water when I'm playing the drums that if we're having to play a 2-hour set, I'm dead by the end of that set, ready to run off the stage to use the bathroom. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's good to stay hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a conversation with Dwayne at B Music in Rutland with one of his old bandmates, Brian Hobbs, who still owns it. I know the business is for sale, but anyways, it was the first time I actually had a heart-to-heart chat with Dwayne Carlton. And one of the first things that popped up in our conversation was going back to the song request menu of how much it costs to announce Freebird, Don't Stop Believin', Sweet Home Alabama, all that is, hey man, you sound great. I'm a guitar player from out in Philadelphia. Can I just pick up your guitar and play with you? And Dwayne just says he's gotten to the point almost in his 60s. If I don't know you, no. The answer is no. You're not touching my stuff.
That's a good way to live.
You're not touching my stuff. It's my show.
Yep, that's a good way to do it for sure.
Besides archive.org and Facebook and maybe Instagram, is there any other way to follow Rick Redington, the Tough Loves Music, or Bigfoot County?
There's the website, rickredington.com, I think it is. But yeah, we're trying to get the YouTube site going. I don't even know the URL for it, but I think if you just search Rick Redington on YouTube, you'd be able to find his page. But we're trying to get more activity and more action through that. So we're going to be doing more live feeds on YouTube, I think, soon.
I was about to say, there's got to be a way you could link Facebook Live videos also to YouTube, right? There has to be a way.
It's not my forte, man. Honestly, that whole part of technology is, I can make good posters and things for my bands, but other than that, I'm not really good at the other parts of it.
And I know, being the drummer of your projects, you still have a very active presence on social media just because that's the way the world is in general, having to be in the know. But you could only imagine just how time-consuming it is to make posts and stories of hoping people find out where we are and knowing where you are. It's a full-time job in and of itself.
It really is. It's very tasking. Just to even make a poster for either Bigfoot County or Rick Redington, it takes... My quickest I can do it is probably about half hour. That's not putting a lot of
What do you
effort
use,
into
like
it.
Canva or?
It's just this app that's called Poster Maker. It's like I know everyone uses Canva. That's always what everyone is like. Oh, you must be using Canva. No, it's not the one I picked up. I guess
10 years ago it was. Oh, you must have Photoshop. You
no,
must
yeah,
be using
yeah.
Adobe.
This is just some.
That's just a cool name, Adobe. That's a cool name.
This is just the one I use is just some off app that says Poster Maker, and it gives me the options I need to make what I need on there, and I haven't had any issues with it yet. So, I mean, to get rid of their watermark, you got to watch like a 30-second video.
Or you have to to upgrade to the pro, right?
Yeah,
and then
or
you also have to
upgrade.
pay the $25 a year to get rid of the watermark that's in the back
Really?
there. Yeah, that's what it was with Canva. Now, I use Canva so much that for me, I'm like, well, this is a business write-off anyway. You could let my accountant know this is like a total business write-off.
I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah,
By the way, any mileage on your car, I'm sure you already know that. That's a write-off.
Yep, and I just bought some stuff for the drums, so I'm like, write-off. Mm-hmm. You know, like anything to do with your business is a write-off. Like mileage, the food I get up while I'm at J, that's
absolutely,
it's all tied into business.
Yeah,
stuff, so.
absolutely, yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate you spending time after a very busy weekend here and just homies, just chatting.
No, I appreciate you having me in here, man.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I like that Grateful Dead necklace on here also, too. You should show it. You did?
I made this.
Oh, nice.
Back in 2017. This is part of the glass blowing I used to do right here.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
These things, though, I would make a grip of these and go to a DSO, Dark Star Orchestra show or whatever.
Sold those, right? I would imagine
Either sell
you can
them or trade for tickets. Yeah, I would never... Like, I'd usually...
On Shakedown Street?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a law kid at heart, man. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. On your next episode that we have you on here, whether it's with Jay or like other people, we should get into the concept of people watching at festivals.
Oh, that's so fun.
Or anywhere.
It's so fun.
Or anywhere.
It's so fun.
Because I talked about this one time with another guest or with anybody for that matter. I always say, what's better people watching? A resort, a train, or a plane? The airport.
That's a good one, too.
The airport is tremendous.
Walmart.
Oh, yes, dude. Yeah.
Walmart.
Any particular town? I don't want to just throw Rutland in the mix, but, you know, yeah.
Like, I don't think it matters, man. I've been to many Walmarts, and, like, every one.
The
it's
humanity.
like you're walking into the same one each time.
Yeah. It's like that guy was there.
I swear, I've seen this before.
He was there in Montana. That guy was
Dude,
there.
I've been to Walmarts in California. I'm like, this is just like the one in Vermont or New Hampshire. It's crazy.
Did you ever see the Bill Burr skit one time from years ago where he was talking about how you can't have animals procreate like a certain amount, but human beings can just keep like procreating and making one human being like after another. He goes, how many times do we have to go into a deli and a bakery in the morning where there's always the guy that's looking at the menu and he doesn't know what he wants? Oh, what kind of bread is that? Stop making that guy. We already have that guy. He exists everywhere.
Bill Burr is great. He's hilarious.
Oh,
one
good
of my
Lord.
favorites for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still crushing it. Yeah, I think he was the first. Because I could lump somehow, my brain is lumping Noah Khan into this mix, how he just played at Fenway Park a couple of nights and sold out there. I think Bill Burr was the first comedian to sell out Fenway Park for one or two shows.
I don't doubt it.
And I love when
he's
he
from
goes.
Boston area.
Oh, yeah. He's been a hustler in the Boston area for a long time. Yeah.
This is his spot.
I love when he goes on Rogan's podcast and just roasts him. I love when they go back and forth with each other.
Best. It's classic. That's like, or if he's got someone in the audience being a fool. Watch out.
So I saw him in 2017 with my best friend, killer bass player back in Southern Connecticut for a creamery station, Alex Wu, Dr. Wu, we call him. Hope you're doing well, brother. And yeah, 5 minutes into the special, he calls out a mom for bringing he assumed like was a 12-year-old kid front row. And it just threw off his entire show. He goes, dude, oh, really? This show, my show, front row, you're doing this? You know, I've been good lately. I wasn't going to drink tonight, but now I don't know where like the show's going to go. Now I have to like think about it. Turns out after the show, he pulled them backstage to do autographs and like, you know, chat with them and like give them merch and stuff afterwards.
Awesome.
So, but he called them like right out of the spot. He's like, lady, you're 12-year-old kid. Me?
Yeah.
Front row?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's great.
Well, speaking of entertaining, you see these things right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say we put them to good use?
Sure.
So I don't know what we're going to play. One
Can
of
I
my
give
originals.
A shout out real quick?
We could. Yeah,
All
absolutely.
Right, yeah.
Go for it.
I just want to give a shout out to Sarah. my girl, just for putting up with all of this music stuff that I've been going through the last year and being very supportive for it. So yeah, I just wanted to give that.
Same
thanks.
on my end. My girlfriend who works in the banking world, Erica Caputo, and my dog, thank you.
Yes.
Because we do work very hard at what we do. Yes. And believe us, our financial support goes immediately to them right away.
Yeah.
And,
And just thank you. Yeah. Thank you for dealing with the crazy.
Yes.
The crazy that it is.
And thank you also to, let's give a round of thank yous. Thank you to all of our fans and friends that support Dave and I, all of the artists here in Vermont or anywhere in the world. I know this is a podcast about Vermont musicians, but I have goals to try to get business owners and entrepreneurs in here to just chat life randomly like this and comfortable, go with the flow. But all of our bars, restaurants, venues, booking agents, anybody that supports us, because it is a blessing to be able to do this and put food on the table while keeping ourselves happy first and foremost.
Totally.
And then making them happy
Forever
as well,
thankful
too.
to the fans and anyone else that comes out to the shows. Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Now, that being said, let's rock and roll. All right.
Let's do it.
I'm thinking one of my originals about autism and special needs awareness, but kind of reggae style.
Okay.
We didn't practice, by the way, everybody, but who cares?
Cheers. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2. Oh, wait, before that. So you can keep rolling. This is a song I wrote that was released on my album back in January, recorded at the Underground by Vincent Freeman, where Rick Redington and the Tough Love just did a live album. This is a song I wrote in honor of my younger sister, Julia, who is nonverbal. It's a song about autism and special needs awareness. It is called Shine Once Again. First drumming performance of the podcast. We have not rehearsed. So here we go. This should be fun. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We take for granted all the little things certain people may not get. Gotta cherish all those moments and just to hope that you don't forget. May not know what you're saying, but they hear deep with it. Let's just open up our hearts to them. Let them shine once again. And come to you with many smiles. Shows a sign of hope and peace. Pray someday that by the love of God, that the evil shall be released. May not know what you're saying, but they hear deep with it. So let's just open up our hearts to them. Let them shine. Should do the Mike Gordon head bob from Fish. Yeah, Dave's got it. There you go. Yeah. Cactus. In the end, though, you just lend a hand, baby, to help them get on through the day. Baby, hard or maybe easy for them to say what they need to say. Yeah. May not know what you're saying, but they hear deep with it. Let's just open up Let them shine once again. Yeah. Let them shine once again. Yeah. Let them shine once again. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Sounded good.
Cheers with the shades. Oh, yeah. Did you have fun today?
Yeah, man.
I hope you come back for another episode.
I will come back as long as I can bring a whole drum set.
Oh, yeah. You guys, thank you again. This has been a great recording, episode number 6 of the Tasty Twist podcast here at Okemo Valley TV. Want to thank Dave Lewis of Bigfoot County and Rick Redington and the Tough Love for being here. Thank you for joining me, brother.
Thanks
and
for
once
having me,
again,
man.
check him on archive.com, Facebook, Instagram, all the places for his music with his bands. And you can follow me, Sammy B, on sammybmusic.com, where you can access my Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, links, Apple, Amazon, iTunes, and all the episodes so far of the Tasty Twist via Okemo Valley TV. Once again, thank you for subscribing to Okemo Valley TV's YouTube channel, their app, and check everything out on okemovalley.tv. To Rebecca, Patrick, and Peter, our producers here at Okemo Valley TV. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for enjoying episode number 6. Have a great day.